Hello, I'm Don Rich. We have a series of educational videos that we refer to as Rich Insights. Don Rich, Rich Insights, right? Now, we're not real creative, but that's what we came up with. Anyway, these Rich Insight videos are just to discuss things that we see going on in the world, in the marketplace, anything that affects investments. All right, we consider that to be fair game. So the topic that I've chosen for today has to do with valuation. All right. And I'm going to go all the way up to 30,000 feet, right? At 30,000 feet, the broadest measure of value, or again, this is going to be a relative measure of value. I'm going to look at the value of stocks, the U.S. stock market versus the U.S. economy, right? U.S. stock market versus U.S. economy. And see what that looks like today, see what it looks like historically, and see if we can draw any inferences or highlight some concerns perhaps. So I'm going to jump to the chart here and I'll talk you through it here. This is what we have here, the stock market capitalization, okay? Stock market capitalization to the dollar value of U.S. GDP. Now for stock market cap, most of you are probably most familiar with the S&P 500, right, or the Nasdaq, or maybe a small cap would be like a Russell 2000, something like that. But you're probably not as familiar with an index called the Wilshire 5000. The reason we're going to use the Wilshire 5 for this one and not the S&P 500 is that when this index was first created, this relative value measure was first created or first presented. It was presented by Warren Buffett. He presented sometime in the late 70s, early 80s. And at that time, the Wilshire 5 was the broadest measure of value of the U.S. equity markets. So, who's going to disagree with Warren Buffett? So he used it, and everyone has used it since then. And we're going to continue here. So you can see from this chart, it goes all the way back to 1970s, and it fluctuates, right? It's a measure of richness versus cheapness, right? Or again, everything's on a relative measure. We're rich. Wall Street's rich relative to Main Street. And we can see during the dot-com bubble, we got pretty expensive, all right? The number was about 1.42 or 142% at that time. Well, as of the end of the year, most recently here, December 19, we were at 153%. All right. So we got a lot of numbers here. Tell me, fat man, what do those numbers actually mean? All right. So it's right here on the chart. The interpretation is simply this is the market value of U.S. companies being 53% larger than the U.S. economy. All right. It's that simple. The biggest before was just over 40%. Today, we're 53%. All right. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. An aberration. Is it something to worry about? Maybe. Right? Last time we were here, or have already surpassed it, but last time we were here, of course, we knew that was the end of the glory days. So the question is, what do we do about this? And again, the most obvious implication would be to treat it as we've got this valuation discrepancy that equities, U.S. equities in particular, have gotten very expensive. A second possible interpretation would be that the U.S. economy is about to take off. All right, maybe the stock market's leading, giving us some clues that the economy is about to burst out and take off. Yeah, that's possible as well. All this chart tells us is right now things are out of whack, right? They're very much out of whack compared to anything we've seen previously in history. So that's our topic for today. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.